Hey guys, this is Jacques from MakuluLinux. Um, Today, with this video, I'm going to be focusing on the latest beta. But before I get to that, I've got a little bit of news concerning the new release and uh, like what's going down with it and so forth. Um, so there've been quite a lot of changes. Since the Aero edition that went live a couple of months ago. A lot of changes. In fact, it doesn't even look the same anymore. It's just been such radical changes, and because of all the major changes, me and the testers, and everybody else. Anyway, we thought it probably better if we move away from the Aero name because it doesn't really represent Aero anymore. It's taken a life of its own. It's become a lot more than just that, and I think I kind of surpassed my own goals and my own, well, what I wanted to achieve with it. It actually came out amazing, amazing, and yeah. So we've come up with the name LinDoz. So the new edition, this new build that will come out, is basically MakuluLinux 11 LinDoz, LinDoz. So it will be MakuluLinux 11 LinDoz forked from the original Makulu Aero edition. Okay. So yeah, that's quite major. Going forward, of course, this will be a unique build because you'll see in a little bit. But it's been quite an honor building this. I did not expect it to come out running as well and as smooth as it does, and to look as great as it does. Yeah, this really turned out probably to be of one of my greatest works to date. So what started off as a request from community, kind of started off as almost like a community build, and now look what it turned out to be. What, about a year and a half later, since I originally started working on Aero, I'd say it's been about a year and a half, and the result is just mind blowing. So I'm going to dig into this OS a bit today and show you pretty much what's changed over the last few betas and what the users can expect when they fire this up and what's under the hood and that kind of stuff. But I wanted you to know that it will now officially be known as LinDoz. So this will be MakuluLinux LinDoz, okay? And no more Aero. We moved away from the name Aero. Aero was a little bit too specific and too narrow-minded for what what we've pretty much done here. So anyway, let's get to the actual OS itself. So I left this on the actual, as you fire it up in live mode. This is pretty much as as you log into the OS. This is the screen. So this is pretty much what you're going to see. So you're first going to get your welcome pop-up here, this little box that's going to pop up. This I forked from the Mint, pretty much the Mint welcome screen, their original code. So pretty much grabbed quite a bit of code there. Of course, just you know, changed it to my liking. And yeah, so it's a very nice little welcome screen. It's different to theirs in the sense that with theirs you have to tick for it to not pop anymore. This one is automatic. It's sort of does it removes itself automatically, so that's nice. I added that little function in, and I've got quite a few more, I think, icons than they do, and also different icons, different text, different logos, pretty much different everything else. Um, but yeah, it's the same concept, where as you log in, you get this nice little welcome screen, and pretty much introduces you to the OS, and you've got some shortcuts to some sort of really handy items, for first time login or whatever. So you can access your driver manager, you can access a software center, the Makulu forums, the chat channel. So you can report a bug. Just click there and report a bug send it straight to me. You can reset your sources list to the default sources list in case you mess it up, which might not sound like something you need, but I've needed it quite a lot, so I thought it was handy. You also have access to the update manager to check for updates. You can donate to the project. This one's very important, by the way. That's a joke. Um, you've got access to your firewall options, so you can set up your firewall options. You can update your antivirus, and you can install and remove additional theme packs, Makulu theme packs. And I'll get to the theme packs in a bit. So this block actually, this is like a little cPanel of its own, and it actually tells you if you that this box will only be displayed once. If you wish to come back here again in the future, simply click on the toolbox icon on the desktop. There it is. Or via your main menu in the bottom panel. There's your main menu, and there's the toolbox as well. It's also in the administration section. There it is. So it's 3 different places you can access it from, so it's very easy to get it back. Anyway, so let's close this up. That's your welcome screen. Once you've read it and you've done whatever you needed to do, installed your drivers or whatever, you can close it. Let's actually get to the OS itself. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys have seen the previous videos, so you know everything, all the basics, but I'm going to cover it again because there might be quite a few new guys that kind of watch this for the first time. You never know. So yeah, so it's a pretty standard desktop, very much like the previous Aero, and actually pretty much all of the MakuluLinux editions that you get, with a couple of desktop icons. You get your clock and calendar on the desktop. You get a quote here. The quote changes every 2 hours, and so does the wallpaper. The wallpaper, the quotes, and the clock are controlled with your wallpaper changer over here. I'll get to that in a bit. You've got your system icons on the bottom right. So you got there a Windows managing, open window manager kind of thing over there. You've got your clock and calendar over there. You've got your volume control. You've got your network, power options, wallpaper changer, keyboard changer, or keyboard selector, and you've got your update manager at the bottom there. So those are all in the bottom right. On the bottom left, you've got files, terminal, web browser, your software center, and your show desktop icon. Next to that, you've got your main menu. Now, the actual menu is a version that was forked from the original code of stock menu. I think it is stock, yes. Of course, a lot of changes to it, and fully functional in the newest, well, not the newest build, because this is based on 2.88. But that's 2.88 is pretty new. I mean, 3 is now live, but before 3, this was the latest. So it's right up there with the latest cinnamon builds, and fully functional. I mean, you can for example, right click, add to desktop. Let's do that. And if you look, you'll see that it's on the desktop. And if you go back again, right click, add to favorites, and if you look, there it is on favorites. You can also drag it around wherever you want on the favorites, remove it from favorites. You can also take icons and drag them from the menu to the panel, and you'll see it will be in the panel now, and you can easily remove stuff from the panel again. So pretty much the menu is fully functional. It's got your system favorites on the right hand side. It's got the shutdown options at the bottom. It's got your app favorites on the left hand side, and these you can change. It's got a search box, all programs, which will then list the categories and then the actual apps themselves, and you can just right click on any app and either add to desktop, add to favorites, or drag it to your panel, not drag it to the desktop. So yeah, that's why you've got the right click add to desktop function. Right click add to desktop. Okay. Anyway, so that's pretty much that's your menu. Very nice looking, very simple, very easy to use. And of course, you can right click and configure it and pretty much set the options, the menu options here. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, this is a fork of the stock menu, so it's pretty much got almost all the same options. Okay, so if you've configured the stock menu before, it's pretty straightforward, very easy. So yeah, This menu I will update from time to time, add functionality and change things, and whatever. But it is it is managed through the Makulu repos, and if you actually right click on about, you'll see that it says Makulu menu. It's not in the Cinnamon Spices website. That site is actually becoming useless. Nothing's updated there anymore. This is in the actual repos itself. Okay, the update manager is also a plugin I specifically wrote for Makulu. So um, this does not, because Makulu uses the package kit for update manager, not the actual Ubuntu updater, not the Mint updater, not the Debian update, none of the, not the Muon updater, none of that, not the, it uses the straightforward package kit, which is much more of a neutral update manager. Um, I've had to write an actual plugin for that to work. So if you click on the update, it'll actually update the sources, and then it will bring up the update manager. Okay, so there we go. That's the software manager. It's pretty much checking for updates now, and I am in live mode. I don't know if I did I do apt-get update. Anyway, this will list the updates, if there are any updates to the system. I don't think there are, but it will list all the updates, and you can just click install updates option there to update. Okay, so the software manager is the app grid, which is a really nice, quick and fast app software manager. It's very self-explanatory. You click on something, click install, and it's done. It's very quick, very easy, really snappy software manager. I really love it. Probably the fastest I've encountered, so really nice. I'm pretty sure the users will enjoy that. The web browser is obviously Google Chrome. The themes is actually what I want to get to, because that's probably going to be the main focus of this edition. Um, Once people get past the rest, the stability and the speed and everything else, because it's pretty stable and pretty fast. So I know the users will appreciate that, but the themes is probably going to be the topic that everybody's going to talk about. So I'll get to that now. This comes out with a sort of a Windows 10 kind of theme. It's pretty cool, very neat, feels very comfortable. I mean, if you look at it, it's just stunning, 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 stunning. So that's very, very awesome. Okay, the users are really going to enjoy that. And I've refined the theme options and put a much more complete spin on them than the previous Aero build before it became LinDoz. And if you actually go to Windows borders, icons, the controls, mouse pointers, and of course the shell theme. If you go to, for example, borders, you'll see you'll have got a Windows 10 theme, a Windows 7 theme, Windows 8 theme, a Windows XP, and a Windows Classic. So I'm going to start, I'll work my way backwards, okay? So Windows 10, this is pretty much what Windows 10 looks like, pretty awesome. And then if you go to Windows 8, so you choose Windows 8 borders, you see there the actual borders changed, because that's the Windows 10, that's the Windows 8 borders. You can go to icons, you can select the Windows 8 icons, and you'll see the icons change. In fact, if I actually open up a file manager in the background there and change the icons, you'll see there's Windows 10. And if you change it to Windows 8, you'll see there the actual icons change to a much more Windows 8 kind of look. And then of course we changed the control themes to Windows 8. As you can see, the controls have changed. Windows 8 was a lot sort of more flatter, a little more shinier. And of course the Windows cursor stayed the same, and then of course changed this to Windows 8. So now you see you've got the Windows 8 icons. You've got the Windows 8 sort of menu over here. The whole look and feel of Windows 8. And of course you've got the Windows 10 controls, the Windows 8 borders, so that's all pretty cool. Okay, so let's move back. Let's go to Windows 7. So there you've got the Windows 7 borders, or Windows 7 icons, although I'm going to use the the green ones. I like those. The Windows 7 controls, as you can see, that now turns like blue shiny like Windows 7 does, and the Windows 7 shell theme. Okay, keep the mouse cursor the same. So if you now actually open up a file browser, you'll see it's got the sort of Windows 7 Aero look. This is nailed down. I mean, look at that, just gorgeous, simply gorgeous. It actually looks like Windows 7, you know. The menu is a little slightly different color-wise, but a very, very smooth look. I actually think that of all the themes, this is going to be the one that most people will probably use. This or the Windows 10 theme, because this is just stunning. Stunning, look how smooth it is, nothing out of place, everything just working really nicely, and it's got that sort of little semi-transparent on the menu as well. You can kind of see the leaves in the background there. So this is just stunning work. Okay, so you got this, and of course you can change the I like the blue, sort of blue-green icons, but I mean, you can change that to the Windows 7 icons quite easily, as you see there. It's got the Windows 7 icons. So yeah, very cool, very well done. And if you didn't know and you walked into a room, you would actually think somebody was running Windows 7. You would literally think that, you know. So that's the Windows 7 look. So let's move back now. Let's go to Windows XP, and we choose the XP icons, and we choose the XP control theme, and we choose the XP shell. Okay, we keep the mouse cursor the same, and as you can see, you've got the XP shell with the XP menu. It's not an exact replica, but it's close enough. You can see the icons even look like the categories that in Windows XP. Your admin icons look pretty much on par. The little arrows are there, the color, the blue, the light blue, even the green borders around input boxes are there. So that's pretty cool. You know, it's got the whole XP look and feel. If you actually open up a file browser, you'll be like, wow, this actually looks like XP, or at least a variation of an XP theme. So this is very stunning. I mean, just look at that. You know, so you can pretty much nail down the XP look right there. The control themes are dead on, you know, so very, very happy with that. So that's the XP. Let's go back again, change up to the last one on the list, the Windows Classic, which is more the 95, 98 look. So Windows Classic, controls, choose Windows Classic, XP, change that shell to Classic. We leave the mouse cursor the same, and as you can see, the borders have changed. You can see the icons have changed. They pretty much look pretty like the old Classic does. You can see the arrows are even there. The arrows, the icons, the sort of white menu. At least a close approximation. You can see it's a very older looking menu. Um, Open up a file manager and you see, wow, this does look ancient. It does kind of look like the old, you know, the Classic theme is very difficult to nail because back in those days you ran computer monitors that only supported, what, 256 colors, that kind of thing. So on a modern computer, you really won't get that old look and feel as much as you would, even if you tried. But this is a really close approximation. It does kind of make everything feel older, and especially those window borders, they just do it. They just nail that theme solid. So there you've got your very old Windows Classic, you know, 95, 98 look, sort of nailed. You've even got the system icons. You've got the speaker. Remember that speaker volume icon? It's even there. So as you can see, it's got a much older look and feel to it. So let's go back to themes. Okay, so I'm going to run through them quickly again. So you've got the Windows Classic, the Windows XP, the Windows 7, the Windows 8, the Windows 10. There's also a Vista theme, but I'll get to that later. The same with the icons, the same with the controls, and the same with the shell themes. Okay, so, but I'm going to switch it back to the Windows 10 look, which is what it comes with by default. So let's go back to that. Oh, I forgot to mention, you've also got like a Windows blue icon theme, you know, so you can change the icons to Windows, like a blue icon theme as well. Okay, so I'm going to put those all back to what the system comes out with default. Now I'm just going to run through the cursors quickly. Okay, you've got the standard 8 weighter, which is like a black pointer instead of the white Windows pointer. You've also got an Oxy Black. I kind of wanted to add that in there because it's still one of my all-time favorite mouse cursors, you know, especially with the lighter themes. I like it, so I kind of added that in there. you got a Pixel Fun 3 cursor, which is kind of like a Windows cursor, but without the tail, and it looks like they almost try to go for sort of like a 3D pop-up effect there. And then you've got the Silver 3D, which is a really nice cursor. I started introducing this in the XFCE series, and it just seemed fair to sort of add it here too, because it is a like a 3D spinning cursor, and it's very well done. It's got like a 3D gold silver look with nice shadows. And yeah, I know some guys might like flashy things and 3D things and stuff, so always a nice addition. But you've got, for the guys that like everything plain, you've got the standard Windows cursor over there as well. Okay, so that seemed like, for Makulu, who likes to always add a lot of stuff, that seemed quite a little bit, and you're kind of right there. If you go back and reopen the toolbox, you'll now see that the welcome message is gone. That only appears once when you first log in. After that, if you open the toolbox, the message disappears, and you'll only have the logo and the actual label of the distro, and then the icons over here. Now this is actually more than a welcome box. It's actually like a little mini control panel, Makulu control panel, because I'll be adding things in here and removing things over time, anything that's sort of value to the user that he could maybe use, or any custom apps or scripts or anything we do or make, I'll add them in here from time to time and stream it through the updates. So it's very handy, and of course I can expand this greatly. I can make this box bigger, add more icons, so it's really a nice little toolbox that I can build on as time goes by. Right now these are the important icons, but I mean I can add, there's no massive limit that will kind of anyway. But I want to get to this icon over here, theme packs. Okay, so if you notice there were very little themes here. There was like one version of everything. One Windows 10, one Windows 7, one Windows 8, one Classic, one XP, and so forth. Okay, so I've split the themes into the standard theme pack, which is included. That's the one you just saw. And then you can install an extras theme pack. Okay, that's extras. And that you do by clicking on this little theme packs icon over here. That will add or remove additional themes. Okay, so I wanted to split it because I don't want to overbloat the ISO, firstly. And secondly, the theme packs will change over time, and I can always add more and remove some, and that kind of thing. So I wanted to make it an extra add-on that's optional. So if you actually click on this, it will actually detect whether you have them installed or not. The script is set to detect. As you can see, it says we have detected no theme packs, and then it will give you the install option. So you can click on install. Let's just cancel that because I've done an apt-get update. Okay, there we go. It's setting up. Installation completed. All done. If you go to theme options now, there we go. You see all the new themes. Okay, so there's all the themes. You've got some Vista themes there as well. Now you've got all the different color variations. So this is the extra theme pack that will literally, like for example, you've got the default Windows 7. That's the default one that comes with the system. But now you've got a Windows 7 black, you've got a Windows 7 blue, you've got a Windows 7 white. So you've got all different variations of the same theme. Windows 10 white, Windows 10 blue, Windows 10 green, black, orange, pink. So yeah, mostly these are window borders, but a couple of control themes as well, and yeah. So you've got a whole lot of variations. You've got the Windows XP, the standard one, you've got the green, you got the pink, you got the silver. So the extras pack really just adds a lot of color variations, and yeah, that's always nice. It also adds a couple of extra Windows 7 themes. You've got the smooth, the gray, the blue. The blue is a very kind of a blue theme. Gray, gray. You've got the smooth one, which is very smooth. As you can see, smooth theme. You also have the Windows 10 dark theme for the guys that prefer the dark instead of the light. So there are a couple of extras that the theme pack installs. And if you want to remove the theme pack again, it's pretty easy. You just open up the toolbox, and you click on theme packs, and it will actually say we have detected extra theme packs, you are about to remove additional themes, and you just click the remove button and it's done. There we go, themes gone, removed. And if you actually go back to theme options now, you will now notice that you've got just the default ones again. Everything else has been removed. So as you can see, very simple, very straightforward. The whole system's automated for you. This is a very smooth experience. This build that's sort of Windows and Linux meshed looks very much like Windows. It really does, but it's all Linux under the hood, I promise you. Very powerful, and it's a very fast. You can see it's snappy. I'm inside VirtualBox here, and it runs very well. It looks great. You know, no issues on it. It's based on the latest Cinnamon build that's available at the time that I created this. MakuluLinux 11 LinDoz. I know that Cinnamon currently has 3.0 point something, whatever. But the latest stable build that I've had no issues with, which is 2.88, it's based on that build, which is fairly newish. It's got the Linux kernel 4.4. Yeah, as you can see, I'm inside the VirtualBox, so it's using a VirtualBox graphics adapter. So yeah, this is the newest Makulu. I'm not going to run through all the software. It's mostly a lot of standard stuff here that you kind of get into a lot of Makulu builds. If you run Makulu before, you should know what all these what the standard software usually is. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of give a rundown of some of the highlights. I said I would come back to this wallpaper manager. Most people should know this, but the guys that don't, the wallpaper selector, you get a great selection of wallpapers with this edition. Plenty, and they are all stunning wallpapers. Really great. Um, really great selection. Some of them are old. One or two of them are I kept from the previous build because I really like them. Most of them are new though. I mean, you've got some really nice wallpapers here. So I'm pretty sure the users will enjoy that you know, great theme packs, great wallpapers. It really just adds to the magic of the distro. You know, just really awesome. So that's pretty much MakuluLinDoz, as it's now known, not Aero Edition anymore. It's now known as MakuluLinDoz, taken a life of its own. Some user asked me about if there's a system monitor built in. There is. It's got the processors, the resources, the file systems. So you've got the standard system monitor in here, which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, this is really stunning. You know, I kind of couldn't believe how well this came out in the end. Users are really going to enjoy using this. It's a great looker. It feels so comfortable. I actually have a friend in South Africa, and he told me that they're looking to replace their Windows software there, and he was looking for something to replace it with, you know, and he was wanting to replace it with Linux, but of course the people always have issues with moving, you know, big drastic moves like that. But I sent him a copy of this, and suddenly the company that he's working for is very interested because, you know, it's not such a big change for the users. I mean, they can switch over to Linux, and it will probably still feel, although he told me that they'll probably by default he'll set their Windows 7 borders. So I said, well, he must let me know because I can probably make a build for him that's sort of comes out, you know, standard with the Windows 7 look and feel. But if they used to Windows 7 and they move over to this, I mean, they're gonna feel right at home. You know, of course, there's going to be a lot of things in the menus that they don't know. They won't know all the Linux apps. They'll have to get used to those. You know, there's going to be a lot of names there that they don't really know. WPS Office, whatever, Open Office, or whatever they decide to use. But at the end of the day, they're going to know where to find the programs. It's going to be so easy. You know, File Manager, when they open it, this is going to be like so familiar to them. So I think it's really meshed well, you know, and the look and the feel. They're going to go from one PC to another with minimal changes that they're going to have to get used to. You know, so it's really great that I was able to take a Linux desktop and do this to it, you know, just make it almost feel exactly like Windows in a way, kind of thing. Now I know there's going to be a lot of users out there that's going to say, oh, if you want Windows, just run Windows. Why make Linux look like Windows? You know, and the simple answer is why not? You know, there isn't really such a great Windows build out there. A couple of people have tried, it's never really taken, and you know there are users that want it, that request it, and there's a lot of people coming from Windows, and they just want to feel comfortable, and um, you know they don't like the complexities of Linux. It takes too long, and a lot of lazy people as well. So you know, just there is a market for it. Unfortunately, that's the answer. There is a market for it. If there wasn't, I wouldn't have made this build. So if you're not one of those guys, then use something else. Um, but there is going to be guys out there that's going to enjoy it and going to want to use it, and they're going to love it, and there's nothing you can do about that. So yeah. Anyway, that's my video for the day. So the big news is that the name has changed to LinDoz. So this will be known as MakuluLinux LinDoz edition, and as you can see, it's fully functional, runs like a dream. It's fast, it's speedy, full of features. Um, you know, I didn't even get into any of the apps or the firewalls or the antivirus that comes built in, and it's going to be very safe, very secure, run very stable, and it looks great. I mean, I don't know how else to say this. It looks great. Really, it does. It looks stunning. So, yeah, that's it from me today. I just wanted to update the users. This is actually beta 21, by the way. That's how much work I've done on this. It went through personal builds, then alphas, now betas. Beta 21. 21 betas. Can you believe that? I think that's probably the most betas I've ever done before, but I really wanted to get this right this time around. You know, the project was quite unstable the first few months of this year, and it was mostly due to SourceForge. But I really just needed to get to a stable point where the project runs well, stable, and lives up to the name that I originally built. You know, and I think this build is really gonna go a long way to doing that. I think the users will love it, and this build is valid until 2019. It does have the Makulu desktop built in as well, so that's great because I can stream a lot of things like wall themes and wallpaper packs and things through to the users. If some radical new cool look comes out, I can give him the option of updating his desktop to that look. You know, there's a lot of advantages to adding the Makulu desktop or integrating it into this build. So yeah, I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. So yeah, that's it for me. I will chat to you guys soon. I hope your mouth is watering because this build is really almost ready to go. I've got one or two things still to polish, but unless the unless the testers come back with any huge bugs over the next few days, I would say this will probably be live within a few days, a week at most. It's really that close to release date now, so really just keep an eye out for that. And I also want to thank, I see there's a couple of donations that came through and one quite big one. I was really quite surprised. I really want to thank the guys for that. I did ask you guys for help and you guys stepped up to the plate. I'm very happy, I'm very impressed, and I'm very grateful. So yeah, thanks a lot for that. And I shall speak to you guys soon. Cheers.